And we are back. Another edition of Sean and Spin in the morning. This is episode 20, baby. Milestone numbers presented by Off Base Media. We got our Monday, June 2nd, second of the month edition. And we are back feeling good. Starting the week out hot, Shani. How we feeling?
I'm feeling good, dude. I'm looking at some of the standings right now, and in the wild card run, this is kind of nuts. There are a lot of teams in competition for a lot of different spots. The standings aren't as close as they were, a couple weeks ago, but we knew that was going to happen. We knew as we were going through, but a whole lot of teams here competing for a playoff run. The AL Central teams still holding 3 of those spots, but we'll get in a little bit to the standings a little bit later when we start talking about the games. But some good baseball to be played, a lot of good teams, a lot of bad teams as well. But
That's true. The good thing is it's more good than bad, I think, right?
Yeah, but it's what's funny is this year, like the bad is historically bad. Like the Colorado Rockies are minus run differential is minus 185, and they are 9-50. Like they're making it extremely hard to not say that they are the worst team ever.
Yeah, they got. I mean, well, I guess we'll see when it's all said and done. But no one sees this team getting hot. I mean, no one has high expectations for this team. So, this is like an all-time worst start of all time. And they're making the White Sox last year's horrible
I know.
season. They're only gonna have to sit with it for 1 year because now here comes Colorado.
Like how do you get morale going on a team like that? But like you said, this could be a godsend for Bud Black to get fired. It wasn't, it was a godsend. Like he needed to get out of there. But I mean, I wonder if he's going to get hired anywhere this year, or people are going to wait till next year.
I don't know. If it doesn't happen like soon, I almost would wonder because.
Well, how often do you hear of a coach getting hired mid-year? It's normally always an interim guy, and then the interim guy is trying to coach for his spot. But
yeah, you're not. Yeah, I guess you don't see that happening mid-year. But my thing is like, if his team wanted to do, yeah, I guess you wouldn't do it mid-year. You want to keep it internal to finish out the season. But I think Bud Black he gets a job quickly come the off season. Let's start with our vibe check though, because we got some juicy things to talk about here around the league. Here's one for you. So Trout came back on Friday, so that was great. We got to see Trout play, although he's hitting like in the low 200s, but had a pretty good weekend, Mike. But when he came back on Friday, which was the big news, Ron Washington, who's not fucking around, by the way, hit him in the 5-hole. Trout was batting 5th and DHing on Friday in his first game back, which doesn't sound crazy until you take in consideration that that's been the first time he's ever hit 5th in his career. He's usually been a 1, 2, or 3 hitter for the first 14 seasons of his career. When he was a rookie in 2012 till Friday, he's hit 1, 2, or 3 in the lineup, with the exception of 2011. He wasn't a rookie in 2011, got some time and hit towards the bottom of that lineup. Then be 7, 8, or 9 in 2011. But since he was a rookie in 2012, all the way up until Friday, he's hit 1, 2, or 3 only. He comes back on Friday, and now he's hitting 5th. And this is a guy who used to be a 1, 2, 3 hitter, center fielder, hitting high in the order. Now he's basically batting 5th, DHing, and then on Saturday, he DH'd again and hit 6th. Didn't play on Sunday. All in all, went 5 for 10 with a run and 2 ribbies or something like that over the weekend in his weekend back. But Wash ain't playing around now with Trout. He ain't playing around with this lineup.
Well, so like Ron Washington never fucked around. Never played around ever. Like you just look at him and you're like, oh, that's a guy that doesn't take any bullshit. But he knows what they have on that team. They have young guys now who are producing. Before, it was just a foregone conclusion that Trout was going to hit 1, 2, or 3. Now Trout's a little older. He's a little banged up. He can let those guys at the top of the lineup kind of do their thing and then, get some runs in that 5 spot. There's great hitters that hit in the 5 spot still.
Yeah.
Trout's a little older. There's guys who when they get up to where Trout is now, that's where they move. You move in that 5, 6 spot, and you let them feast. You let them get some ribbies in. You let the top 4 go to work. When you got it like Zach Neto, who is playing like one of the best shortstops in baseball right now, You got O'Hoppe, who's playing like a great catcher. And like you let those guys up front do the work, and then you said he won 5 for 10 on Friday, Saturday.
And he had maybe a pinch hit at bat on Sunday. So
I mean, so first couple games back, he's seen the ball well out of the 5-hole. Good for them. Kudos to Ron Washington. They finally have something to play for a little bit. Not that they're going to be anything come fucking playoffs, but right now, dude, I think they're playing a little under 500 baseball.
Yeah, not terrible. I think they're
26 and 62. So I mean, if you ask the Angels fans with this record come the start of June, happy June, by the way, start of June, I think they'd be thrilled. I don't know. If I'm an Angels fan, I see 26 and 32, and we finally have some young guys to get excited about. I'm excited. I don't know.
Yeah, and they were really bad. They had that great win streak, then they had a horrible losing streak. So they are 3-7 their last 10. But yeah, 26 and 32. Yeah, I mean, it's not awful. I think you're kind of starting to see. I mean, the best team in the division has 32 wins. They have 26. So you're trying to play catch up with yourself, get to 500, and then if you can, in the midst of doing that, like they already went on that one winning streak. So I think they've proved to themselves that it's possible. Fuck anybody else. For them, it's just about proving it to themselves because they haven't done anything in a long time. Now, Ron Wash, I believe this is his first year there. I think it is, right? So Ron Wash is
yes.
Or it's his second. I just forget if he was there last year or not. I think this is his first year. So yeah, I mean, now he's not fucking around. He's coming in and he's saying, yes, okay, Trout is the guy that I'm not putting you 1, 2, or 3 just because your name is Mike Trout. There's guys that are doing it, and not to mention maybe. Listen, he came out the gate hitting 1, 2, or 3 early on in the season, and now it's like, well, you're not really producing there because when he got hurt, yes, the power numbers were there, but he was hitting below the Mendoza line. He got his average up over 200 over this weekend, but maybe he goes from there, doesn't look back, he finds himself back up higher in the lineup. But right now, it's like, yeah, he's not really hitting like a guy that should be up in the lineup. You're not going to bat there just because your name's Mike Trout. There's guys that are hitting that I have to put. I'm not going to put you ahead of Neto or Taylor Ward because in the midst of our win streak, when we did it without Mike, that's kind of how the dynamic of our lineup went. So now he fits in comfortably in like a 5 or 6 spot. I'm fine with that until he can prove to get back to those ways. And maybe also getting banged up, DHing, kind of taking a little strain off of him. He doesn't have to be the centerpiece of this lineup right now. He just has to be healthy. And when he's healthy, he's good. Let him kind of ease his way back into this lineup, is back into his playing time, batting 5th or 6th, DHing. I have no problem with it.
So this is what I got to ask you, because I thought about this weekend because neither of us brought it up. We use the Angels as one of our biggest sellers, right? We both think that they're going to get rid of people. But we never brought up Trout, which I feel like Trout's, and that's for a reason, because Trout's always a talking point every single year. Is Trout finally going to get traded? Are the Angels finally going to let him go? Is he finally going to play in October? Out of all years, I think this year could be the year that they finally get rid of him.
That would be wild.
You know what I mean? I for some reason, I see this team. They know they're not there yet. They know they're probably not going to be there with Trout on this team. This is not me downplaying Trout at all. It's more the Angels organization in general. They still need pieces. And who better to send out than Mike Trout to get some pieces? He's not the player he used to be. Granted, of course, we know that. But you could get some pitching prospects for Mike. Like Mike Trout on name alone, you could go get some pieces. You know what I mean?
That's a pretty darn good point. Yeah,
I guarantee you the Phillies would send him 2 or 3 people to get him playing in the outfield.
Yeah, they probably even ask for more than 2 or 3. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll see. I mean, it's not crazy to think that. I don't think that's crazy at all. The only thing I could disagree with you with is just because the front office is so horrible that maybe they're maybe they don't because they're so bad. But you're making a lot of sense.
And I know it's something that's played out every single year, because every year they talk about, is Trout going to get traded? Skeens is going to be the new Trout. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, is Skeens going to get traded? Is Trout going to get traded? I don't know. We hear it every single year, but like this year, out of all years, it kind of makes the most sense to me. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of where the team's at right now, but I don't know. Like, there's finally hope over there. And I feel like the only way they were going to get butts in the seats is if you had a guy named Mike Trout on your team. Who cares if he was on the IL? If you still had him, there was a chance, you know. But I think kind of that's where I'm at with that one. Like he might go.
Not mad at that at all. Well, from one older gentleman to another, this guy's a little bit older than Trout, though. But Chris Sale, I mean, for the longest time, when we were growing up, it was Verlander, Kershaw. At a certain point, Scherzer made his name on that list. Is it time we put Chris Sale on that list too? And with that being said, it basically should he be a Hall of Famer? I think there's people that were saying he should have been a Hall of Famer probably before he went to Boston, or even during the midst of his injuries in Boston. If I don't think that's totally crazy, a little premature for me. But now we're at a point where it's like, you saw what he did last year, wins his first Cy Young, has a great year. Now he's having answers back this year at the age of 36. He's doing it. There's been Hall of Fame talks surrounding his name for a while. I thought they were a little bit premature. Now I think it's just right to have these talks. Now, if you're one of those people that wants to see what he can do the end of this year, 37, 38, and then continue to build a resume, I'm all about that because I'm not big on just jumping out of my shoes for Hall of Fame guys. So I understand that too. However, I'm comfortable having this conversation at this stage of his career, and I think that he should be in the same conversation. Verlander, Kershaw, Scherzer, Chris Sale. It's almost a Mount Rushmore of pitchers for the past 15 years or so.
He has been unbelievable. I think it's about time. I think he's like an 8 or 9-time All-Star. Pretty unreal. Like he deserves it. He won his, like you said, he won his first Cy Young, and he just joined the what? It was the 2,000 strikeouts.
2,500.
Sorry, even more impressive, and he's still going. I don't think he's going to retire after this year, so he's got a couple more. He's had a 15-year career, as you said, but like here's the one thing, and I think the only thing that people are going to harp on for him: the postseason. I only think he's been in the postseason pitch in the postseasons 3 different times. I don't even know. Did he pitch for the Braves last year in the postseason?
He did.
I don't think so. He did? Okay. Well, I know with Boston, he was only there 3 times. And granted, that's what people are going to say. That's not his fault. And you're kind of right because it's such a team sport. We see people waste away on bad teams all the time. We just talked about Mike Trout. Certified Hall of Famer. Definitely going to be a Hall of Famer. No postseason. But it's he's got 2,500 in the strikeout department. He's pitched over 2,000 innings, and he's still sitting at 3.04 career ERA. That's pretty unreal to me. He's finally got the Cy Young under his belt. He's had a resurgence this year, so he's gonna look even better this year. 304 wins. No, sorry, 304 games started. 141 wins, and we talked about that even being on a bad team. That's still pretty damn good. That means he was on the White Sox for 6 years. And he still got 141 wins, so that's pretty impressive to me. But his highest win has been 17. He said, 18 actually with Atlanta, and he said 17 3 different times. So I know people are going to bring up injuries and stuff like that with Chris Sale as well. But I believe that he's definitely making a case. I don't know about first ballot, but he's definitely going to get in, I believe.
Yeah, so I don't know what his postseason number. He has that ring from 2018. I actually thought he pitched decent in that postseason. I could be wrong, but I don't know his postseason numbers as a whole.
They're not great. I'm looking at them right now. They're not, they're not great.
Okay, so there's that. Does have that ring though to back it. With a ring, a Cy Young, a handful of All-Stars. He's like 40th all time in the all-time strikeout list, and of course, you said he's still going. But if you look at the lefties, I think he's 12th for lefties. So if he could start to climb up there, maybe be a top 7 strikeout lefty of all time, that's going to hold a lot of weight. Maybe he gets up to 150 wins, doesn't seem out of the picture. Maybe he starts touching like 175. I don't know if we dwell on wins the way we used to, but just try to build a Hall of Fame resume out of it, or just add to your resume. I think if he would retire after this year, which he's not going to do, if he would though, I would probably say he is a Hall of Famer, especially how lenient people are just to let him in, how lenient people are to let Hall of Famers. This day and age, people are more lenient on who we let in. So I think he probably does have enough even after this year. He has the Cy Young, the ring, and like I said, all those fucking things. I think these next few years are now him making a case as to why he could be and maybe should be a first ballot Hall of Famer. And like I said, if you are going to be on that Mount Rushmore with Verlander, Kershaw, Scherzer, and now Sale, and those are the big four for over the past 15 years. That takes DeGrom out of the picture because DeGrom is actually currently, well, DeGrom and Sale have ran into the same issues, and it's injuries. Now, I think I will maybe give Sale the upper edge over DeGrom because I think the career numbers might look a little bit better, all in all. But both those guys have had monster injuries, and this is something you touched on. That's the big thing as to why at the age of 36, maybe even 35 last year, is you have to revisit the Chris Sale Hall of Fame thing because at a certain point, we're looking at the way he's aging, we're looking at the way his career's trending, and we're saying injury, injury, injury. Like he had like 4 straight seasons of like barely staying on the field. It was tough for him. And he basically, revived his career in Atlanta last year, and he hasn't looked back. So after he's all those injuries happen because longevity matters for the Hall of Fame. So if longevity matters and you have all those 4 injuries at that stage of the career, you're saying, oh, I don't know. Kind of what we're saying about DeGrom right now. It's like this is his first year healthy in a while. And we're saying, well, he's had those 4. Yes, he was the best pitcher on the planet at a certain point, but there's that big – it's how you bounce back. And last year, Sale bounced back, and he's continued to do it this year. I think that really puts him in conversation to be on that basically that Mount Rushmore of pitchers in the last 15 years. Maybe, I was going to say, with the exception of Kershaw, the best lefty in the past 15 years, you could argue, right? With respects to CC too, but CC's a little before his time. But again, I think it's always been Verlander, Kershaw. Everyone felt very comfortable putting Scherzer in that same conversation. I think we have to look at it as a big 4, and Sale has now done enough. The only reason he hasn't done enough was from the injuries, but now he's come back strong, second straight year in Atlanta, and it's about time we put him in that same boat. So now we have to look at those pitchers as a big 4 rather than those 3. Add Sale to the fucking list. The next guy to join him could be DeGrom, but he has to continue. We have to see a little bit more out of him.
Yeah. So one thing that I think is kind of I don't know what word I'm looking for, but the injury, like you brought up the major injuries, and yet he still had a 15-year career. That's impressive to me because you see a lot of pitchers, they just fizzle out after, like, we talk about like the Tim Lincecums, like how much they rode him in the Giants, and then he had that injury and was never the same after. Even like a 1-year pitcher of Ubaldo Jimenez back in the day. You know what I mean? Like he got hurt, wasn't the same after that with the Rockies. You see a lot of these great pitchers who had so much talent that get hurt and just aren't the same after, and it sucks. But Chris Sale had a huge injury, but he's just special, man. Just comes back and has a 15-year career, and it's still ongoing. So kudos to him. I think he will be in the Hall come game day. I mean, come the time.
Gotcha. I agree because it is going to be all about the injuries. That's the only reason that we haven't had this conversation sooner. But at this point, like you said, you bounce back strong after the injuries and you keep plowing. Yeah, I'm with you there. Okay, let's go to next thing here. Now, you sent me a TikTok the other day about these dudes on Baseball Doesn't Exist. Is that the name of the pod?
Yeah.
And they were talking
Good
about
pod, though. Good pod. Shout out to the Baseball Doesn't Exist guys. I just started seeing their clips on TikTok, and he's kind of the guys. I think I don't know if it's a one-man crew, but I keep seeing the same guy over and over again. He's got some pretty good content.
Good for you. Good for that guy. Well, yeah, it was an entertaining video. He made a great case of why the Dodgers could or maybe should or maybe will go after Paul Skeens. Seems a little crazy, but at the same time, he made a lot of sense, and he made some good points. And maybe it doesn't seem crazy because you figure the Dodgers just go after fucking everybody. Why not?
Yeah, it pains me to say this, but it actually makes so much sense, and that's what hurts. Paul Skeens is going to be the biggest haul if he gets traded. We keep talking if this might be a conversation for the next 10 years. I don't know, but like if he gets traded, he is going to have the biggest haul ever for a player ever. It's going to put the Juan Soto trade to shame, I think, and the only team that can actually kind of afford it is the Dodgers. The points he made in the video are James Outman was 3rd in the Rookie of the Year voting. He's still in the minor leagues right now. They have the 4th best farm team in all of baseball. Why the hell do the Dodgers need that with the depth they even have at the big league position? They don't. They don't need that. The depth they have at the bigs is pretty unbelievable. And I didn't even know that, and it pissed me off when I heard that. I'm like, how can the Dodgers have this lineup and still have the 4th best farm team? Unbelievable. They just got a guy from the A's, Esty Ruiz. I think his name is.
Ruiz,
yeah. led the whole entire MLB in stolen bases 2 years ago. Well, they got him from the A's because I saw a little bit of a video on him. His hitting just like went down the toilet the one year. So they were like, the A's are like, oh, we're a horrible franchise, so we don't have the resources to actually change this guy's swing. Well, guess who does? The Dodgers, apparently. So now he's sitting in the minors for the Dodgers. And then even a guy who's up at the bigs, Kim, their second baseman, Ha-Sung, I think his first name is Kim. He barely plays. And then he showed out on Friday night versus the Yankees, showing what kind of talent he's got. He's not an everyday starter even for them. So there's 3 position players right off the bat. I could get into a bunch more, but I'm not going to. But even in the pen, like I know they've had injuries and everything, but you got like a guy like Michael Kopech. You have Blake Treinen.
Yeah, Treinen.
Treinen, like 2 guys who are injured who you could send. Pirates aren't in any rush. They can go rehab, do it however much time they can take. That's 5 guys right there who are talented players that you could send for Skeens and then picks on top of it. Like nobody else, I don't think there's a whole lot of other teams in baseball who could put together a package of like even just those 5 guys. Shit, send some starters there too. You got Bobby Miller and like a guy like Landon Knick-Knack to send on over there too. I mean, they have so much talent. Like Tyler Glasnow's hurt. Maybe you send him back to Pittsburgh. He'd hate it. Oh my God, he'd hate it. But like, what about Roki? The Dodgers are kind of like, we want to win now. Do you really want to waste the time you kind of have with Roki? He's done for the year too. He's injured as well. Maybe you package him. They have so many options to send to the Dodgers. Nobody else in the entire MLB can really be like, yeah, we can send you 4 guys we have like 4 guys we have in the majors right now, plus like 3 or 4 farm guys who are going to be unbelievable too. Here you go, Pirates. Time to rebuild.
Yeah, I think what the other teams can do, though, is give them maybe what the Dodgers can give you in quantity. I think there are other teams that can give you in quality. And the reason I say that, I know you made a case, and so did the other dude on his pod, about why these guys would be good fits. But let's just say there's a reason James Outman is in the minor leagues, or there's a reason he doesn't start. And I understand that they have depth. It's Teo. I don't know. They have a lot of guys out there. Fucking Pages is having a good year than whoever the other outfielder is.
Has, yeah.
Yeah. I know they have depth in that fucking outfield. So that's great. But just listen, I mean, Pages is I think younger than Outman, and he's making a case as to why he plays every fucking day. I mean, there's guys that got hurt, like Mookie's banged up, and Edman was hurt prior to Mookie, and it's not like Outman got like so much. He got called up and maybe played a little bit, but there's a reason. Like Outman, I don't know about him. Okay, I don't know about Esteury Ruiz either. I don't think he's like your saving grace. These are good, cutesy little pieces that yes, you can sell. There's the same reason I'm talking about selling the people that we made cases as to why the Orioles should sell who they sell. I was high on selling the Orioles pitching staff. There's some guys on TikTok that didn't like that. You saw that.
They did it. They really didn't like that one.
Well, what are you going to do? They don't know how to win in Baltimore.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing I kept. Sorry, I don't mean to get off topic, but I'm reading their comments and I'm like, you're just like proving his point more. I don't understand. Okay, go ahead.
I thought so too. That's why I didn't get into it much. I was just kind of like asking questions and then just being like, yeah. Anyway, so goofballs. They don't know. I give them the benefit of the doubt. They don't know how to win in Baltimore. They never do. They don't know how to. So they have a 2-year window. They still can't do nothing. Anyway, so. I understand those are cutesy little pieces. That's fine, but it's the same. But and you could, I feel like I could sell a lot of different players. Same reason I was talking about the starters in Baltimore. These are depth pieces. I don't know why the guys in the comments, depth pieces. They got like offended, like I called them a slur. Yes, they're depth pieces. Eflin's not an ace on any other team, guys. Okay, Sugano's not an ace on any other team. Depth pieces, yes, sir. I didn't stutter. Anyway, so. I feel like that's why I feel like I could sell any of these guys. Yes, you could sell Esteury Ruiz. You can make a good case. Oh yes, he's speed. He's still young. I think I just checked. He's 26. Okay, fine, good for him. There's a reason he couldn't stick around in the major leagues. And you could talk about the bracelets last year with sell the team in Oakland. I don't think that's the only reason why he got sent down. And then you have Outman. Okay, yes, you can make a case for him too, as the guy made. And then Ha-Seong Kim, sure, I think that's a sexy name because we've seen a little bit of success this year out of him. My point is I just don't know how quality guys Outman and Ruiz are. I think the Dodgers would love to get rid of him, but I think if you have to probably throw a Kim and a Sasaki in, Outman and Ruiz just kind of become like also pieces. They're not like one of the main pieces here. They're just like, hey, yeah, Sasaki's a big name, Kim's a big name, and then by the way, also here's Outman that could be something for you. Here's Ruiz that is kind of just a scrap. It's just another guy, so you don't get. So they at least Pittsburgh doesn't think they get fleeced by giving up 3 guys for Skeens, and it's like, oh, here's a 4th guy. It's fucking Asturi Ruiz. It's like, I don't know. Like, I think what holds more weight. And by the way, I also think that the fact that some of these guys have played in the major leagues, like Outman and Ruiz, the fact that we've seen them at the major league level, I think actually might hurt the Dodgers case because we haven't really seen them hit the piss out of the ball at a major league level. Where if the Yankees came in and said, oh, here's Spencer Jones, we haven't seen, there's a good chance that Spencer Jones maybe turns out to be a bust, but we haven't seen him at the major league level. At least the Pirates could maybe believe in that and say, oh, here's Spencer Jones. That might hold more weight for than like an Outman or a Ruiz roaming that outfield. But yeah, the Dodgers have a lot of pieces. We'll see how they do it. I don't know if Outman, I mean, did I say Outman? The Dodgers have a lot of pieces. We'll see how they do it. I don't know if Outman is like finished 3rd rookie of the year. Fine. What was that rookie class like? Maybe he had a good season. He wasn't good last year, I remember. So that kind of hurts his stock. Ruiz has been like wasn't on the Major League A's team. That's what history will write. I don't know what happened in between that, but that's what history will say, is that he was on a terrible A's team, couldn't make the Major League roster. How does that look when you're trying to for his trade stock? They have pieces. That's great. I can see them maybe getting rid of those pieces for they either include them in a package, or they try to get maybe relievers when if they want to clean house a little bit. Use those guys as relievers. They could probably get something out of them, or maybe starters. Who knows? But I think if you're going to go Skeens, the Pirates should be asking for a fuck ton. So if it is Outman and Ruiz, it better be Kim and Sasaki too, and maybe even some draft picks, as you said, or like other guys. But we'll see. It makes a lot of sense, but we'll see how they proceed with this stuff, because they'll make a push for him. They'll have to make a push for him, right?
It just can't be the people in the minors. It's got to be, you got to throw some pieces who are already up. So that's why I brought up some of the guys that are injured. Because what are the Pirates? The Pirates aren't in a rush. They're not in a rush for anything. Yeah. They're like we're right now where they are. They're like, we're never winning a pennant. We're never winning anything. We don't care. We're just gonna waste Skeens' career. We're butts and seats. What's that guy's name? The owner
of the Pirates?
Yeah, Nutting.
Yeah, Bob. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he sucks. He sucks. He doesn't care. Like, I mean, it pisses me off a lot. But anyway, I'm not here to talk. We're not here to talk about that right now.
Yeah, fuck Skeens. I hope he goes to the Yankees. Hey, his girlfriend is a Yankee fan.
They have 6 pitchers right now. This is just in their starting rotation who are on the IL. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 of them are on the IL, the 60-day IL. In the pen, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people on the IL. That's insane. That is insane. I like it's, and that yet they're still one baseball's best. I hate it. And then I hate even bringing up that Skeens might be going there. Like, it pisses me off so much. Anyway,
we'll see. I don't know where Skeens is from. Do you?
Neither do I. He seems like a Midwest guy.
Yeah, maybe he's like a sneaky Tennessee guy.
If he's not from the Midwest, I'm gonna be shocked. Let's look.
Yeah,
dude, he's like, Becca actually brought it up. She was like, "Did you watch I think him and Livy Dunn did like a GQ interview."
yeah.
Bro, he was so like, oh, he's from California.
Oh shit.
Fullerton, California.
I think I did go that before. I think it's like, it might be north. I don't know. Fuck.
Damn it. That sucks. So he's got incentive. Damn it!
But Liv is a Yankee fan, so.
Yeah, but she probably lives in LA. All those little influencers live in LA.
I don't know.
Damn it! All right, we need to move on. I can't talk about that anymore.
I think it's gonna be. Listen, it's not even up to him, so who cares?
It might be at some point.
We'll see. Oh, let's talk about guys who were in the major leagues. They went down to AAA, and there's guys at AAA. They went up to the major leagues. So the first guy here is Chandler Simpson, and we have this on our talk. I made an initial reaction video But Chandler Simpson sent back down in AAA. Jake Mangum coming off the IL. So then Simpson becomes the odd man out in that situation, which is crazy. The biggest point I made on the TikTok reaction, Sean, was the Rays were playing good baseball before that. You almost want to have, if it ain't broke, don't fix it type of mentality. Simpson was a big part of the Rays being a second-place team for the short period of time that they were. Now they're on a one-game losing streak, so I guess they might have lost that series, though, over the weekend. I think they did. And now they're still one game over 500, now in third place. I don't think that matters too much. Toronto's on a 5-game win streak. I don't think that matters too much with the Rays. But when they were in second place, Chandler Simpson was a big part of it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. But, hey, he's the odd man out. That sucks for him.
Yeah, I saw this was once again, shout out to somebody online who made a very good point. I don't know who it was, but apparently Morel, who they just got from the Astros, is out of options. So if they were to send him back down, they would have had to DFA him. Because I don't know how many times you can send a guy up and down, but I know the Phillies have gotten into this a couple times with a lot of different guys. That's why Cody Clemens got shipped, because they couldn't make room for him on top of it. But apparently Christian Morel is all out of options, and I think that's due to the Astros sending him up. Now he came from the Astros, right?
I thought it was the Cubs or the Rays. The Cubs, I thought.
Maybe it was the Cubs. But anyway, he's out of options, so they would have had to get rid of him. What I just hate about it is this guy was electric for baseball in general. On like a broader, like when you talk about on a broader topic than not just the Rays, he was like stealing bags, creating runs for himself like the whole entire time. And I think, dude, he was on like a 15-game hit streak, I'm pretty sure, when they sent him down, or somewhere along those lines. It wasn't like he wasn't producing. And I hate to see a guy who comes up, living his dream now, helping a team out, and then but down to the minors. Like how, like that's got to kill his confidence. And that would kill my confidence. It's like I'm doing everything right, and I'm getting sent back down. I cannot wrap my head around that, man.
Yeah, it just sucks he became the odd man out. They got to do it somebody, I guess. Mangum came up and hit a fucking home run when he came back.
I mean, it's nothing against Jake Mangum. Like he's hitting 316 on the year before. Like he was playing well before he got hurt. But I'm just saying, like this. I need to find Morel's stats. Oh, he's hitting 20. He's hitting 203 this year.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you don't. You probably want to believe in him because I'm pretty sure he's still young.
I don't think he's old. Was he 27?
Yeah, dude, he's our age. He's 26. He's 25, actually. He's 25. So you still want to believe in him. You don't want to get rid of him. So, yeah, that does make sense. But guess what? The Rays organization, there's a whole slew of people who they probably could have sent down. Like, I don't – like, if you want to keep Morel and you still believe in Morel, which I think is fine, there's a ton of other people you can send down and be like, look at this guy, Taylor Walls, who actually just got tossed. Did you see why he got tossed last night?
He touched his helmet or something.
Right? Yeah, we need a replay on that one. See ya. Sit down. That was kind of wild because it didn't even look like he tapped. He looked like he was fixing and then went to fix again, so it made it look like a tap. And then the umpire was like, "No, that's it. You're out of here." So it's either I saw a guy who's like, there was a comment on it. He said, either we're going to robo-umps or the players get to square up with these umps every single time. Something stupid. I was like, ain't a bad point. But we got there. Like, I'm just looking at this. Like, maybe even Cameron Meisner. Like, I know Meisner had a hot start, but now he's hitting 224. He's probably got an option that you can send down. Let him get his confidence back. He's a young guy. I mean, shit. Curtis Mead. You know who Curtis Mead is?
Is he a middle infielder?
I don't know who the fuck he is because he's got an X next to his name. So send him down. I don't know. It's just I felt like there were so many more people they could have sent down besides Chandler Simpson. But, I'm not in that front office. And if I'm being completely honest with you, I can't really say a whole lot about that front office because every year they give them really nothing. And yet they still are like a 500 team every single year. They're never like really horrible. They're still going to compete every time.
Yeah, so you can, the Rays play a good brand of ball. I think part of it is, if you're looking at outfielders, Morel can bounce around that outfield with Josh Lowe, Meisner, Mangum. So like I said, he becomes the odd man out. But to your point, Morel could bounce around the infield too. He can play
Yeah.
second or third. So I don't think Walls is anything special. Whoever Mead is, if he's still in the major leagues or whatever the fuck that X means. I don't think they have a set shortstop. Okay, fine. Caminero plays third, but if you could find a guy to play short, I guess Josh Lowe plays second. Aranda at first. I mean, there's no way that they have multiple. Maybe they just want to have multiple middle infielders because they're not great at the shortstop position, so they want to keep it like that, and then use Morel as maybe an option as a fourth outfielder or maybe a second baseman if you need or whatever the fuck. I don't know, but yeah, you like to think maybe you just don't overthink it and you just keep it something within the outfielders and not shuffle guys around too much. So that's what sucks for Simpson. Also, I read something that I think maybe his defense as of late wasn't up to par. So maybe send him back down, work on his defense, and then maybe something happens soon. This won't be the last we hear about Chandler Simpson. So
no, he'll be back up.
That's the bad news. And then we go AAA to the majors, which is happier news. So Mick Abel, let's start with him because there's another guy too. We'll start with Mick because you have some things to talk about. Mick and the Phils, they shuffled the starters, or I should say the pitching roles around. But Abel, who pitched great not that long ago, got sent down. Now he's back up. Let's go, Mick.
So I couldn't understand why they sent him down to begin with. Couldn't wrap my head around it. We all knew it was going to be a spot start, but when he looked so good, who cares if it's a spot start? Keep him up. Let him keep throwing. Keep Walker in the pen. Because Walker looked good out of the pen, man. He looked really good. And I know he had not the greatest outing last time against him. So maybe put him back in the pen. Let him get comfortable. We need the help in the pen. We need actually anything we can get in the bullpen because it's horrible right now. The Phillies as a whole, like Bryce went down, and it just shows how much Bryce means to that team as in like an identity wise. Because I mean, they just fell out of first place.
Yeah.
With getting swept. Like it just shows how much he means to it. Now we get a little bit of pitching back. Bring up Mick Abel. I know he's young, and listen, Philly fans, we're gonna have to be patient with Mick Abel because he had that start. Yes, it was against the Pirates. Yes, he looked unbelievable and he looked really well. But he's still going to have some struggles. We can't put all our eggs in this kid's basket right away. He's going to have some struggle outings, but we got to let him work through it because I believe the talent is there for Mick Abel. He's shown flashes in the past. He's been up and down in the past, but he's looked good. Let him work out the kinks. But biggest thing with me is this team needs to hit around him. We need to get Bryce back, and I swear to God, if they find out Bryce is hurt again, Spencer Strider is going to be public enemy number one. I already hate him enough. I'm going to hate him even more now. But from strictly a pitching standpoint, it's a good call because we don't really have the bullpen coming up through the minors, but we do have the starters. So maybe you can rework that. You throw oh my goodness, Taijuan into the pen. And this is like looking forward and a prediction for another one. I think if Painter comes up, even though Rangers looked like an unbelievable starter, I think Ranger might be the one to get the bump to the pen.
I agree.
Because he's done in the past. He's been extremely versatile. Nothing to knock on Ranger. I love him as a starter. He's calm, cool, collected. He's everything you want in a starter. He's a gamer. You know what I mean? But from a versatility standpoint, he's the only one that can do it. So if they don't go get an arm in the before the trade deadline, I would say he's going to be the one that gets moved.
That makes sense. And if not now, then eventually I do, especially for the playoffs. But and then we have Nola set to return around the 10th in like about a week or so. So then I guess fucking he gets sent back down, Mick. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, and I hate that. I don't like this up and down stuff. Really I think it messes with the guy's confidence. When he comes up, he pitches well. And confidence is such an important part of baseball to me. I think it's an underlooked part. Like, you want to build these guys' confidence up. You don't want to wreck it. You don't want to tank it. I think he understands from a managerial side of things that, like, hey, these guys are already established in the leagues. We're trying to win now. We need to win now. The NL is a hard place to kind of win games and get into the playoffs. So I think he understands it from that standpoint. I haven't seen much interviews with him, but I'm a believer in Mick Abel. Let's let him rock. Let's let the kid eat. I can't wait to see him go.
Okay, nice. And then the second guy we got coming up, this was announced yesterday, Jack Caglione to the Bigs, Kansas City Royals. They needed it. They need that offense.
They didn't do this sooner. I thought this would have come a lot sooner. Big back, big boy. coming up there. Finally, maybe give them some run support for that great pitching we know they got over in Kansas City. I'm excited to see him. I might pick him up in fantasy because I know he's available in like 90% of leagues right now.
Yeah, but you're too late, babe.
Oh, did you take him?
I got him in the one league, and then someone picked him up in our other league.
Damn. But it's exciting to see. I love seeing prospects come up, especially these highly touted prospects, as Jack Caglianone has been for the Royals. Pair him up with Bobby Witt for the next couple of years. Let's have some fun over there in Kansas City.
I'll make a trade with you.
Yeah, I don't need him. You're good.
I tried to trade him to Joey too. Joey didn't want. Well, because Joey picked him up in our other league, and then he texted me this morning. He's like, I was about to get him right before you did. Like 3 minutes before. I was like, I know, Joe, because I saw you. I got the notification that you picked him up in the other league. I figured you were probably shopping around. Yeah. My team's too good to pick him up in my other league, but in Joey's league, it's so deep. I got some guys I could drop. Anyway, yeah, good for you. I think that's what they need. They're gonna need a spark to this offense. He's a lefty bat that I think, in a perfect world, I don't know how their 1 through 4 look. But if Salvi hits like 4, for example, Caglianone's a lefty that can hit behind him. I think that makes for a pretty solid 5. Now, we don't know what he can do. Again, anytime you talk about these young guys, you said it with Mick. You got to be patient with these young guys. Everyone's going to be like, oh, he should be up. He should be up. Then he goes like 0 for his first like 12. Exactly. And he's like, oh, this guy's still, these guys a bust. And then it's like, well, let the kids play, dude. Like, what do you expect out of them? So we'll see how Jack Caglianone continues to trend. We're all rooting for the kid, and we want to see that Kansas City lineup fucking figure it the fuck out, because right now they're in a good division and they're like the 4th guy in that division. So maybe this is the start of something. So good for him. And as we continue to talk about, you mentioned.
Hold on, before we move on from that, a little bit more on the Royals. This one piece isn't going to make all the difference. Like, those other guys in that lineup still got to produce, which they haven't been, but this gives them maybe we'll give them a little surge. Like, hey guys, we can still send your asses down. You guys need to perform a little bit. Like, our starters are doing all the work. We need somebody more than just Bobby Witt going and getting us some runs. But sorry, I just wanted to throw that.
Well, Witt also has to pick it up too. I don't know if he's hitting the piss out of the ball. And specifically to your point, specifically towards a Pasquantino who really needs to pick it up. Now you have this young guy who plays first base. Hey, Vinny, figure it the fuck out, because I don't know how they're going to go about Caglianone. That's the other thing. I want him to be a left fielder because I know that they have holes in their outfield. But maybe that's not the case. Maybe he DHs and plays first, and Pasquantino is like fucking not playing as much because he has to figure it the fuck out. Maybe that lights a fire under his ass, and in turn lights a fire under the whole team and the offense. Okay, let's go to top 5 rotations that we want for the postseason. Is it too early to talk about the playoffs? We've been doing it the whole fucking time. So what are you gonna do? Here are some notable arms or notable rotations that I think are postseason ready, that can seriously dominate in the postseason. Who wants to go first?
You go first, and then I'll go. Okay. No, you know what? What do you want me to go?
Go ahead.
All right. So our top 5 are going to be a little shifted around, but we kind of have, I believe we have a little bit of the same. So at my 5 spot, I'm going to go with the Yankees. I believe the Yankees have one of the best pitchers in baseball. They're the back end, and Rodon has looked unbelievable as well this year. We've touched on him a couple of times this year. His little resurgence or whatever he's doing this year has done wonders for them. And Will Warren also has looked good. The 4 and 5 spot in that rotation, I'm a little iffy on, so that's why they're at my 5. I got the Royals at number 3, led off by a little Bubic action.
4 or 3?
4. For the Croatian sensation, if you will. I do like what the Royals have going on. I just don't know if we're going to see the Royals in the postseason, but this is who I would want in the postseason. You know what I mean? I don't know if we're going to see the Royals in the postseason anymore because of their hitting, but it's definitely not because of their pitching. They're still killing it, led by the Croatian Association. He's looked unbelievable, going to be an AL Cy Young candidate towards the end. At number 3, give me the Detroit Tigers. Why do I have them a little further up? Because of the X factor at their number 1 position, the AL Cy Young right now. Give me Tarik Skubal over anybody. Dude's a dog. I just cannot say enough about Tarik Skubal. That's why they are at my 3 and not further down the lineup, because they have the best number 1 in baseball, and I think that carries a lot of weight, especially come October when you get a guy out there who's almost a guaranteed win. He's going to give you at 7. He's going to give you 8 to 10 Ks almost every time he's out there. Just nasty, nasty stuff. And at my 2, I got the Texas Rangers. Once again, don't know if we're going to see them in the playoffs, but it's not because of their pitching. Headed by the DeGroms, with the resurgence of Maul. He's been unbelievable, which you called, by the way. You were streaming this guy before. I think a whole lot of other people were, and he's going to continue to do well. Sitting at 3.10 team ERA, second in the majors, number 2. And then number 1, who had any doubt? My Philadelphia Phillies. When you throw out a team where Aaron Nola is your 5th starter right now, I mean, come on. It's like kind of self-explanatory. It was Zach Wheeler, who's got like some of the best command in baseball. He had a horrible outing against the Braves, but that's 1 out of 12 outings he's had this year. Every starter is going to have that. Then you go to like Christopher Sanchez, who's a big lefty, can pump it in. He's had a little bit of a not what everybody thought he was. He was like top 5 in NL Cy Young voting in the beginning of the year. But then a guy who's cool, calm, and collected like Ranger. You got Nola. We're bringing up Mick Abel as well. And then with the acquisition of Jesus Luzardo. Jesus Luzardo, I hate that we're talking about it right now because he had the worst outing of his career on Saturday, which I mean, I'll talk a little bit more about when we get to the Phillies like games. I'm going to touch on some Phillies topics, but he's still like he has been. I think he was your top acquisition this year. He was an honorable mention for me, but he's pitching like an NL Cy Young candidate as well. He might have just ruined it on Saturday, but that's besides the point. Young kid on a 1-year deal. I hope they re-sign him. Maybe it doesn't lead to that because of Andrew Painter coming up, but Jesus Luzardo has been unbelievable for them this year. Been the best pitcher in that rotation. Can't talk enough about him. The Phillies are at my number 1.
Yeah, so we have the same 5. Shuffled around a little bit. I'll start with my number 5 is Detroit Tigers. The reason I have them lower than most is because if we're talking about the postseason, yes, they have some depth right now. They're actually 5th in the major leagues in terms of team ERA, the 3.17 team ERA. Really good stuff. It's good for top 5. I just don't know how much I like their back end right now. Now, it's good enough to be in this conversation, but you talk about down the road, postseason time. What are we looking at with a Jackson Jobe? What are we looking at with a Reese Olson? What are we even looking at with a Casey Mize? Flaherty doesn't dazzle me, though. Flaherty has pitched in the postseason and won a fucking ring last year with the Dodgers. Don't know how good he was. Maybe he was all right. Maybe he was serviceable. Maybe he was reliable. Don't know. Either way, I know that if you go into the postseason, it's going to be Skubal, maybe Flaherty, and then Casey Mize, most likely. If those are your big 3, fine. But I don't know how much I like the back end right now. They're still good enough to make the list, but at number 5 until I see Mize, Jobe, Reese Olson in larger sample size, until I see Flaherty be a solid number 2, which I don't know if he is. Maybe he's there too. Doesn't really pitch like it. At number 4, then I do have the Yankees at 4. You got to go Yankees, baby. Juice them up, juice them up, juice them up. Where did you have them at? 5? You have 5? Well, I got them at 4. Okay, because I think they're just more put together for the postseason. Fried has a ring. Rodon has pitched in the postseason before. Clark Schmidt has pitched in the postseason before. And then the biggest shockers are guys like Will Warren and Yarborough, who are going to add depth to this rotation. Now, Gren, I'm saying this after a couple of these guys got fucking wrecked in Chavez.
I know we're having this conversation right now after a bad weekend for starting pitchers.
Yeah, exactly. But Yarborough looked really good yesterday for the Yanks. So I do respect that. And he's a guy who might go to be a long reliever, have a bullpen role, lefty out the pen down the line, especially come postseason. So he adds depth there. He's looking really good as a starter right now. Will Warren, same situation. Luis Hill might make pick him up in fantasy. You want to pick up a guy, he might be making his debut in June or some shit like that, maybe July. But anyway, Luis Hill coming around. He was Rookie of the Year last year. Maybe you can make the case that Rookie of the Year last year, Luis Hill, by the time the playoffs starts, he's in midseason form. I don't fucking know. But all I know is that they have a little bit more veteran guys that have been around the block a little bit more. I think, Fried and Skubal are similar. At least right now, they're the top 2 pitchers in baseball, definitely the top 2 pitchers in the American League. The only difference is I think the Yankees' depth is a little bit better right now. I like that a little bit ahead of Detroit, where I have the Royals at 3. Did you have the Royals at 3? Oh, no, you had the Royals at 4. I had the Royals at 3. A 3.13 team ERA, which is 4th in the majors, a tick better than what Detroit's going to give you. So I'm going to value them a little bit higher. I liked what they did in the postseason last year, so they got a little bit of experience. So same with Skubal and shit, but the Royals got some experience in the postseason last year. Reagans is banged up right now. When Reagans was actually, when they were pitching, he was almost like the worst pitcher in terms of ERA wise, which is wild. And he's like their ace. So we all believe that he can find it. Lugo's looked really good. He just came off the IL. He's looked really good. The Croatian sensation has been around. Like guys like Lorenzen and Waka in the back end of that rotation. I think come playoff time, I can see Lorenzen going to that pen because he can do that. I think Noah Cameron's come up. While some of these guys have been banged up, a guy like Noah Cameron's been spectacular since they gave him an opportunity. They seem to have a lot of pitchers, and whatever they're doing in Kansas City, revolving around the starting pitching, it's fucking working because they have a whole slew of dudes that they can turn to. So you have to respect Kansas City and what they're able to do with the true ace at the top with Reagans, even though he's hurt. Lugo's a solid number 2. I like rotations that are seriously well put together. Reagans is the ace. Then you can go to Lugo. You have a good back end. You have depth. They're put together. They're really good. Hopefully Cagliano can help jolt that fucking offense because they need it. Number 2 is Texas Rangers. I think you also had Texas.
Yeah, our top 2 are probably the same.
Okay, so yeah, 3.10 team ERA, which is second in the majors for Texas. Of course, you have Eovaldi at the top. You have DeGrom at the top. Now Evaldi's hurt, but still, Eovaldi, DeGrom at the top. Again, you have these established guys. I guess they both have rings. Yeah, because they both. Yeah, DeGrom was on that team. So they both have rings, but they both pitched in the postseason. They both pitched in big moments. The big game pitchers that you have at the top of your rotation, and then you scatter. How do you back that up? Well, if you're going to go to the postseason with Eovaldi and DeGrom at the top, well, Tyler Mahle's been a great number 3. I don't hate Leiter for the depth pieces. Corbin stepped up greatly. Even Kumar Rocker coming off the IL. Some of those guys might move to the pen. They need a lot of help in their pen. Some of those guys might move to the pen late in the season, or at least if they can make the playoffs, especially. Where are they fucking sitting at? They're in third place, 2 games under.
Yeah.
4 games back. Come on, Texas. So if they can figure it out, it's, like you said, it's not because of their pitching. They've been good on that side. So they can stroll into the playoffs. They got to get the offense figured out. But if they can stroll into the playoffs, they have a lot of options with their rotation and a well put together staff. Now, Eovaldi's hurt, but when he comes back, it's going to look great. Okay, now number 1 is the Phillies. So we're both on that. I mean, Wheeler's your ace. Okay, you have a top of the line guy at the top of your rotation. It doesn't beat that. Wheeler's been doing it year after year after year, and in the postseason. So we know it out of him. Nola hasn't even been bad in the postseason, and that, to your point, he's kind of your 5th starter. Maybe your 6th because he's fucking hurt, and you have 5 guys right now. So who knows? You can make a case that Nola's not even a top 5 fucking starter in Philly the way he's looked and the fact that he's hurt. So there's that. Rangers, slow heartbeat guy. Maybe he goes to the pen. Maybe he doesn't, but we've seen success out of him in big games. You got to respect Christopher Sanchez. The way Luzardo looks, it's just from the left side, from the right side, it's really good. I'll even put more respect on Nola. We've seen him pitch well too. But it looks fantastic, and you can have long relievers out of the pen. You have young guys as well. They're very well put together in that staff. If the postseason would start, that's kind of who you want to rally behind. Is that rotation? Very good rotation come postseason time.
And I will say this, something that you brought up that I think is a great point is it's all about who the like these guys who have already had the experience there too. So you brought up good points with some of the people that do have the experience, some teams that don't have the experience. And Nola in October has been great. Mm-hmm. So that's why I think no matter what he does in the regular season, come October, he'll be in that top 3 starters and he'll be pitching in October.
Yeah, I agree. It's hard not to, right? It's hard not to put him in. But then it's not. Yeah, it's so tough because then it's like if you're like the 3 or 4 guy on that team and you're fighting for a spot, it's like, I did everything. Like what's Christopher Sanchez gonna do if Luzardo gets it over him?
That's why I made the point earlier, kind of like Ranger going to the pen because I think Nola is cemented as the top 3. I don't think Rob Thompson would go back on that because
Ranger to the pen makes perfect sense to me, but I'm saying if you're Christopher Sanchez and you look good.
Yeah, and Luzardo, I understand. Yeah.
So 100%. It's tough. It's tough. What are you going to do? Okay, let's look at some of these upcoming matchups. We'll see who we get into here. I'm not going to write them down. Fuck it. We'll say that shit for the weekend.
All right, word.
Unless you want to. Wait, well, actually, I should say this. I don't know if I said this while we were on air. You were hitting 67%. You were 30 for 45 for the weekend slate. A couple of over 73% on Friday and Sunday, and then 53%. We both had bad Saturdays, but 67% pure shooting. I was shooting 53%, 24 for 45. So not very good. Not very
Dude,
good for me.
the Saturday games are the hardest to predict because you have no idea what's going to go on after the first game. Because in
That's true.
baseball, it matters so much with that momentum. Like that momentum on Friday night to go into Saturday, or that not momentum, it does make a whole lot of difference.
You know what? Fuck it. You want to do our predictions?
Yeah.
We'll keep track. We'll keep track.
Yeah. Keep track.
We'll keep track.
All right. So first series we're touching on is kind of a snooze fest. Got the worst team in baseball facing off against a very lackluster team. We got Colorado traveling to Miami. German Marquez going against Max Meyer. Not sure going against Alcantara, and then not sure going against Cal Quantrill, the Canadian. Colorado's got to win at some point.
Yeah.
At some point. And German Marquez, I think in his last start, actually didn't look completely horrible like he has the rest of the year. So you know what? But Max Meyer. I don't know how Max Meyer has been. Has he been anything special?
He's been up and down, Max. Young guy. He's been really good at times, and then he's kind of come back down to earth. I streamed him today for this start.
Yeah, it's kind of funny that I say they got to win at some point, but they actually really don't, because they are the worst team to ever grace this field. So actually, they lose against Max Meyer tonight, extending their losing streak would probably travel to.
They're on 8. Yeah, so they're on an 8-game losing.
You mean they win against Alcantara? Fuck Sandy. They don't get the double digits. They win against Alcantara, and then they lose against the Canadian Cal Quantrill. Miami wins the series 2-1.
Okay, I have Miami sweeping. I think Miami's a little more scrappy and pesky than they get credit for, and I think they can. Since they're both last place teams, I think they'll really show everyone that we're a different type of last place team than Colorado is. Now, I need Max Meyer to pitch well today because I streamed them, and then I do want to believe in Sandy. I mean, I don't like Sandy. Like, he's pissed me off because I streamed him before against like the White Sox, and he fucked me. So I really want him to do well for his sake. But I really want to believe he could beat Colorado. So I'm going to take him there, and then the Canadian Cal Quantrill, a 12-10 game on Wednesday in Miami. Ooh, spicy shit day game in Miami. That means I guess Colorado's traveling back to fucking the West Coast after this. Well, anyway, Miami sweeps. Fuck it. Miami sweeps.
That's fair. All right, then we get into a kind of an interesting one.
That makes it 11-game losing streak for them. 11-game losing streak. That would be crazy.
That's nuts. That'd be. I mean, and we can't even put it past them because, like, what the hell? But anyway, we got the Angels traveling over to Boston. Boston just got swept, I'm pretty sure. Or am I mistaken there?
No, I actually think they won the series.
No way. Or was it the other way around? Did they sweep?
I think they won the series. Who did they play?
Hold on.
It went. Yeah, Boston.
They might have. They
took 2 out of 3 from Atlanta.
Okay. All right. Well, good for them. Never mind. That's my bad. False advertising. But we got Tyler Anderson versus Richard Fitz. Kikuchi versus Brian Bello, and Soriano versus Giolito. Boston, one of the more interesting teams in baseball. They're super fun to talk about because like they're bad, but they shouldn't be bad. All the pieces in the world. So it was actually Ken Rosenthal. Remember I was talking about a little bit earlier? I saw him touching on kind of the Boston Red Sox. He made the point they have all the pieces, but they just aren't being used correctly. He was arguing like Marcelo Meyer came up the whole entire time playing middle infield. They now have him at third. Same thing with Christian Campbell. He came up playing middle infield the whole time. He played first base this weekend.
So, he did. I forgot about that.
So it's like they have all these pieces. They're just not using them correctly. And I'm inclined to agree because you've talked about their front office. It's Boston. Boston, like they so badly want to be good, and I thought they were going to be good, but guess what? They're just not. They won the series against a Atlanta Braves team who's in 4th place. It's in 4 games below 500, 9.5 games back. Nothing to really shout about. But anyway, we're on this series right now. Give me Tyler Anderson tonight.
Love it.
I'll ride with a Brian Bello on Tuesday.
Love it.
Give me Jose Soriano on Wednesday.
I have
Angels
the
win
same
this series.
I have the Angels winning this series too. I don't even know if I hate Richard Fitz. I think if there's one thing that the Angels could do is come into town and fuck them. And this, I can't believe I'm saying that about the Angels. But when you have Ron Washington on your side and he's proven to say, hey, Trout, I know you're Mike Trout, but what we're doing right now is about, putting you with a 5 or 6 hole like we talked about before, DHing, preserving him, wait until he gets back to his Mike Trout-esque self. So then he can kind of come out and be a top of the line batter. Right now, what they're doing, they're not rolling, but we saw them roll a little bit a week or two ago.
They're scrappy. They're sneaky.
I think they can be sneaky and scrappy. I think that Boston is a clusterfuck. I don't think that they can do. I don't know if they necessarily play better at home than what they do. Every time I see them, they're 16 and 14 at home. 13 and 18 away. There's a lot of times at home I see them. They're not playing good. Like, they just don't really look like a good team at all. It's not like they even play good for their home fans who are passionate sports fans. So it's not like they're even playing well for them. So I think LA can easily come into Boston and take 2 out of 3. And I'm going to take Tyler Anderson to shut him down. I think Brian Bello gets to him. I don't hate Kikuchi, but maybe Bello gets to him there, and then it'll come to a rubber match because I do think these teams are somewhat even, both the kind of under 500 shitty teams, both fourth-place teams. Both, I don't even know if we're seeing we're not seeing the Red Sox best pitchers. Crochet just pitched. Might just be seeing the Angels' best pitchers, though. So anyway, I do think it'll come down to a rubber match, and I think at this case, where one team's a clusterfuck and one team is trying to get things going, I take the Angels in a rubber match series. So I agree with you. Angels, Boston Angels.
And here's a little stat for you. The Red Sox, I guess this is above against teams above 500. They're 15 and 19. I know that the this is off topic because the Angels are below 500, but like better teams. We keep wanting to think that Boston Red Sox are like a better team than they are. When they play other good teams, they are just not. They're not getting there. They're 15 and 19. So that's like a huge red flag to me in a sense.
Yeah, well, we'll see how the Angels are considered a good team here, but I do think they could take 2 out of 3. That's the thing. That's how much I don't like the Red Sox. Is even when they're playing an under 500 team like the Angels, I'm leaning Angels. We both are here. That's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Who's next? All right, we've got Milwaukee versus Cincinnati. Milwaukee's on a 7-game?
They're on a 7-game win streak. These motherfuckers.
7-game win streak right now. They're playing some good baseball. This is they are now like the team that I thought they were going to be at the beginning of the year. Now, on that Sunday game, Yelich just went down. So I don't know an update on him or what he's looking like. But anyway, we got Aaron Savall versus a Brady Singer. Ace Day, Tuesday, Freddie Peralta versus Hunter Green. And to be determined facing off against Andrew Abbott. Cincinnati kind of, also, this was a really cool thing that happened in baseball the other day. Ellie De La Cruz found out about the passing of his sister. Very, very sad stuff. Still decided to play anyway. Went deep, pointed up to the sky. Very heartfelt moment, very touching moment. Ellie De La Cruz, I know we give him a lot of grief, but that's awesome in my eyes.
That is, yeah, I vaguely remember that. Yeah, hearing about that. Yeah, it's crazy.
But then anyway, we get to this series. Milwaukee's got to lose at some point. Their bats look good, and honestly, on that Sunday game, I was fortunate enough to be at the game. The Phillies beat themselves. The Brewers did not win that game, in my eyes. But when you're hot and you're rolling like that, stuff's gonna fall for you that way. Do I think they push it to above 7 games? I don't know. I'm probably gonna roll with Brady Singer tonight, just because I don't think that they push it there. But then I love Hunter Green, but I also like Freddie Peralta. And with the way this team's playing, they're hot, they're good, they're winning the next 2 games. They're not losing this series a bit, especially against a division rival. They're looking to make that push, man. Every team kind of knows it. In the NL, it's hard. It's going to be hard to get into postseason. When you're hot, you got to ride it. 8-2 in their last 10, 7-game win series, 5.5 games back. Let's gain some ground. Give me the Brew Crew to win the series.
Nice. We're opposite. We also view Milwaukee very differently.
Yeah. Rhys Hoskins 2-home run day. I called it. I told you at some point he was going deep, and he did.
Yeah. Twice. How about that?
Yeah.
Were they both 3-run shots? I think they might have been.
Yeah, they were.
Well, anyway, we're opposite. We view Milwaukee differently. You tend to be higher on Milwaukee than I am. Now, granted, I'm never high on Milwaukee. They always kind of kick me in the ass, towards the end of the season because they kind of been running this division for a while. Anyhow, I will take Milwaukee to extend their winning streak tonight. Put them at 8-game win streak. Savali's fine. Whatever. Singer's fine. I don't know if it's going to come down to the pitching here. If it does come down to pitching, I can see Singer out pitching Savali, but whatever. I just think that they extend it to 8 games. I don't think they're going to extend it after that, and they're going to run into Hunter Green. And what better storyline than Hunter Green to shut them down in a division matchup with the Aces on the bump, the red-hot Milwaukee Brewers, and they run into Hunter Green. He shuts them down. Would love that. With respects to Freddie Peralta, but I do think they'll extend it tonight, running 100 Green. He'll shut him the fuck down. And then I'm going to roll with Andrew Abbott. He's been a stud. So I do have Cincinnati winning this series and kind of bringing Milwaukee back down to earth, at least a little bit. At least a little bit. They'd still kind of stand. They'll still stand alone in third place, but they're actually trying to climb a little bit because depending on what they do and what St. Louis does, they could even climb another spot in the fucking stand.
Yeah. They're playing well right now, so they're a little
spoiler.
But anyway, so we'll get into the next one. One of the four-game series this week. Detroit versus White Sox. I think this one's pretty self-explanatory. But you got Flattery on Monday. They're not sure who to throw in on Tuesday and Wednesday. Then you get to Thursday, and you got Casey Mize. On the opposite side, you got Jonathan Cannon, Shane Smith, Sean Burke, and Davis Martin in that order. 4-game sweep for Detroit.
Wow, you have to believe that one of these.
It's got one of them's going to be Skubal, unless they just don't want to pitch him against.
This says Skubal. This says Skubal on Thursday.
Oh, so maybe Mize moves then.
And then Mize on Wednesday.
Okay. Well, my answer is still the same. Detroit sweep. 4-game sweep. I don't care that it's 4 games. Give me a Detroit sweep.
Olsen and Job are both hurt, so that's why they don't know about the one thing. But anyway, was it Mize on Thursday or Mize on Wednesday?
Skubal on Thursday.
I don't think they're going to do a 4-game sweep. So I just got to figure out what the fuck. I was hoping you were going to take a little bit longer on that one so I could think of it. I'm going to say, I actually think the White Sox should throw some of their best pitchers out. I mean, take it as you will. We don't know Tuesday. Give me the White Sox on Tuesday. I'm going out of order. Tonight, you know what? I'm going to do something crazy. Give me the White Sox to take the first 2, then Detroit to win the next 2.
That's fair.
Fuck it. I don't know why. I'm just doing it. I'm going to roll with Jonathan Cannon and Shane Smith to shut him down a little bit.
Okay. I could appreciate that. What are they at right now? They are 6 games up to the Guardians, who are in next place, sitting at 39-21. So White Sox 18-41. Got some young guys that can play, but I just think let's go Detroit. Big Detroit fans over here. But anyway, next game, super. This is gonna be a fun series. 4-game series, 4-game division series out on the West Coast. San Diego going to San Francisco. Stephen Kolek on the bump versus Logan Webb. Not sure who they're going on Tuesday versus Landon Roop. Nick Pivetta versus Kyle Harrison, and Dylan Cease versus Robbie Ray. Wow, does San Diego I have no idea what's going on over there, because one day they're hot, one day they're not. One day they look like one of the worst teams in baseball hitting wise. Next they look like they're going to win a World Series. The San Francisco Giants, you could say the same about. Both sitting at 33 wins. Giants have played a little bit more games. They're sitting at 33-26, while the Padres are 33-24, respectfully. Padres 6-4 in their last 10. Giants 4-6 in their last 10. Spin, what do you got tonight?
I'm going to go with Logan Webb tonight. He needs it. Logan Webb needs it. Last 2 outings haven't been Logan Webb pretty. I mean, he's still like a sub-3 ERA on the season, but he needs to bounce back greatly. Kolek has looked like shit in his last outing. He looked terrible. So fuck Stephen Kolek. He fucked me one time. He was one of my spin streamers, and boy, did he fuck me. Anyway, Logan Webb tonight bounced back greatly. They are at home. Then I just went like this. I just want San Fran, San Diego, because I really don't know. I would love someone to kind of win this series. It'd be crazy. But then I'll go, I guess San Diego. This says TBD. They probably know. It's just the website I use sucks. Shout out MLB, stupid, shitty website. Anyway, I don't know. Why do you say TBD? I could go on ESPN Fantasy and Google it myself, and it'll find. Anyway, who cares? San Diego. The next day, then I just think that they're going to play each other real hard. They're going to play each other real hard. San Diego a little bit better in the standings. They have the same amount of wins. They're going to play each other hard. I think San Diego, Webb shut you down today. Say the offense is cold because Webb shuts you down. Then the offense comes out hot in San Fran the next day. And then I'll just take San Fran. I mean, fuck Pivetta. I know you're a Pivetta guy. I'm really not. Let's roll with Kyle Harrison and let's roll with the kid, and then just roll with Cease over Robbie Ray. That could be a good pitching duel, but just take everyone wins every other day because I think they're going to play each other hard. I think it's going to be a back and forth affair, and they're going to prove to each other why they both have 33 wins right now because they're very even teams. I see it, so I think it's going to be a split series.
I can appreciate that, but I'm gonna get a little ballsy here, and I'm going San Diego's gonna win this series. And I think you're gonna be kind of surprised with the person I go them losing it, because I'm gonna have Dylan Cease being the only loss for the Padres. Dylan Cease just has not returned to his former Dylan Cease self, I guess you could say. Maybe he's never been that, and I've been tricked. I know you've never really been a big Dylan Cease guy, but I think Logan Webb hasn't looked all that great. Kolek's looked even worse. But San Diego needs this. They know they're right there. They're only one game, or like I guess like 1.5, whatever you want to call it, one game up on them. And I don't know. I just, for some reason, I feel it inside the Padres are going to win this series.
That'd be great. It'd be good TV for someone to come out with this series. I think they're going to pretty much stay even though the whole time.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, next game, another 4-game series. Give me Minnesota in West Sacramento facing off against the A's. Got Joe Ryan versus Sevy, Paulo Lopez versus Not Sure, Zebby versus Not Sure, and then Ober versus Not Sure. Now this one's more interesting to me because I feel like this one there's no way they don't split it. Minnesota, where are they at? They are 4-6 in their last 10. They're on a 2-game losing streak right now. And not saying anything because the A's are 1-9 in their last 10 with a 6-game losing streak as well. So the A's have come back down to earth as most people predicted. Still like what they got cooking over there. Just wish they were doing a little bit better. Definitely think Joe Ryan goes the distance tonight and wins it for him. Same thing with Pablo Lopez on Tuesday. But then give me the A's to actually bounce back and beat the next two, and then Zebby Matthews and a Bailey Ober.
Well, that's crazy. So you have the A's. I do have the same exact 3 with you. I think Joe Ryan shuts him the fuck down. I think Lopez has been pitching. I mean, you got the 2 horses going against a bad team. So, of course, you're going to bet on them. Then I'm going to take the A's to win the third one, as you did as well. I think the A's can come out with at least one of these. And then I'm going to take the Ober, and the Minnesota takes 3 out of 4 in West Sacramento. Look, the A's have been playing like shit. I think the A's can win one of these games. But when you run into Joe Ryan and Lopez, good luck. I guess Zebby Matthews has to be the guy that they get. And then Ober comes out. I think Minnesota, the way they're playing, and the A's, the way they're playing, I think Minnesota has to win the series.
Yeah. And then another 4-game series, probably one of the most interesting series, or the most interesting series of the week. Got the New York Mets traveling over to LA to play the Dodgers. We got Blackburn, Meagle, Canning, and Peterson in that order for the Mets. Then we got Dustin May, Kershaw, Tony Gonsolin, and then they're not sure who they're throwing Thursday. Wow, this is going to be a really good series. 2 first-place teams going to the better teams in baseball. The Mets have surely turned it around from having that little skid. They're 8-2 in their last 10. 3-game win streak right now. We hate the Mets. I hate the Mets. We got to acknowledge when somebody's playing good baseball, and they're playing good baseball right now.
Sure.
What are you looking at for this spin?
Dodgers sweep.
Are you serious?
Fuck the Mets. Maybe I'm going with my heart a little bit. Maybe I'm bet with my heart a little bit. But hey, listen, Paul Blackburn, is this his first fucking start of the season?
Probably. I'm not sure, but probably. I haven't heard. We haven't said his name once this year.
Will this be his first start off the IL? Maybe his first start as I don't really remember him going to the Mets. I kind of vaguely remember him going to the Mets. Who gives a shit? Maybe his first start of the season. Dustin May, shut them the fuck down. Now people are gonna say, "Oh, Soto's getting hot." I don't fucking know. He ended last month good, and we thought that he was gonna have a good fucking May, and then he had a crappy May. He actually got worse in May, arguably, and then he ended May, started June well. It's like, is he gonna have a good June? Maybe, but I guess what? Dustin May can outpitch Paul Blackburn. Even if the offenses are somewhat even, which I don't think it is, I think the Dodgers do have the by far deeper and better offense. I don't think Paul Blackburn's going to shut you down. I mean, they just beat Max Fried on fucking Friday. What the fuck you think Paul Blackburn's going to do to you? Okay, fine. Kershaw at home at 10-10 in Chavez Ravine. I'm not betting against Kershaw at home at 10-10 against Chavez Ravine. Fuck yeah, Clayton Kershaw. Shut him down. And Meagle hasn't been that good lately. He's been giving up runs. You can't give up too many runs to this offense. And Meagle's been a guy who's been giving up runs lately. So there's Dodgers. Here's Canning against Gonsolin. Gonsolin can go deep in a game and keep you in a game. And I think Cannon's kind of not trending in the right direction. If I'm not mistaken, I thought Griffin Canning is coming off of a bad start against a bad team. Am I mistaken on that? His ERA is over 3, which isn't good for him. He's had last 2 outings. He's gone 3, 4, 5 and 2/3 innings and given up 6 runs. So more runs scored than innings in his last 2. That was against the Dodgers being one of them. They got to him last time. And then his last outing was against the fucking White Sox, and he couldn't shut them down. So his ERA is 9 in his last 7 days, which is 3 innings pitched and an ERA of 9. So that's 3 runs through 3 innings. Who gives a shit? My point is that Canning's coming down to earth. He's not trending in that right direction, and you can't do that stuff against the Dodgers offense. Plus, they saw him not that long ago, so I think they can get to him again. And now here's Gonsolin that can keep you in a game. David Peterson, I do like. If the Mets are going to win one, maybe I'll take my money on David Peterson. But guess what? What's the fun in that? I want a 4-game sweep from LA.
I love that. I don't think it's going to happen, but I love it. I'm going to kind of agree with you. I'm going to go Dustin May, Kershaw, and Gonsolin to win those 3. And then the Mets start shitting themselves a little bit. The Mets fans start panicking. Frank the Tank's losing his goddamn shit over there in New York. But then I'll look for them to win Thursday and bounce back with it when David Peterson's on the bump.
That's fair. That's definitely fair. I think a lot of Mets fans would agree with us.
Listen, hey, I hope the Mets get swept. I hope that they get their little pansy ass sent back to New York with their tails between their legs. I hate them. I hate them all. But then I guess we get into Houston, Pittsburgh. Houston traveling to Pittsburgh. Lance McCullers, who looked great in his last outing,
yes, he did.
Versus Paul Skeens, who top of the town. Ryan Gusto versus Mike Burrows, don't even know who that is, and then Framber versus Mitch Keller, who Framber kind of back now. He looked unbelievable in his last start as well. So
good.
Astros are really starting to turn it around. I think they're only sitting a half game back out of the Mariners. Houston sweeps.
Same.
Yeah. The one game that I think they could win is maybe when
tonight or tomorrow.
Paul Skeens gets on the bump. But hey, Lance McCullers has looked good. He's looked good. He can pitch to keep them right there the whole entire time. And then once Skeens gets out, what are they going to do? Nothing.
Yeah, I'm more confident on McCullers against the Pirates offense than I am against Skeens against the Houston's offense, which is saying something because Skeens is great, but Houston's offense is better. So, I mean, it's almost very even. It's like Skeens going against Houston is actually very equal to some of these pitchers going against the Pirates. Like, I don't know how good Gusto's been. McCullers is there. I like to see McCullers continue to build off of that. But listen, this is Houston's division until someone can prove to beat them. They're 32-27. Seattle's 32-26, so they're a half game out. But Seattle's been in first place. They've held possession of first place for a long fucking time now, probably like over a month. And now Houston wants to show everybody that this is their fucking division. And when it comes to, and they're hot. They're 7-3 in their last 10. They've been playing good baseball. They ended the month of May playing great baseball. They're going to show everybody that, hey, we're the real fucking deal yet again. You have guys getting hot in that lineup. And when it comes down to going to fucking Pittsburgh, yeah, they better wipe their fucking assholes with these fucking pieces of shit in Pittsburgh. Yes, of course.
Saying they had a really good May is like isn't even the half of it. You think about it, I think they started May in 4th.
Maybe
they just jumped 2 spots and now are sitting at half game back on the Rangers. Like they had an insanely good. All the pieces finally started. Like Cam Smith is playing really well now for them. Their pitching starting to come back around. We just touched on it with Framber kind of coming back to his glory. We all knew it. Everybody knew Framber Valdez was the guy over there. Even though Hunter Brown's had a great year, but Framber is a very, very good pitcher. He proves it time and time again. Houston sweeps. Interesting.
That.
What's up?
I said love that.
Yeah, and then we got the Chicago Cubs facing off in Washington. Cade Horton versus Trevor Williams, Matthew Boyd versus Mackenzie Gore, and then they're not sure who they're throwing versus Jake Irvin. One thing we didn't touch on earlier that I want to talk about when we were talking about Skeens talking the trade-wise is how freaking good these guys that came over from the Padres were when Soto got shipped over to the Padres. James Woods looks like he's going to be a generational player. And I'm not talking just like a couple All-Stars. I'm talking like MVP voting some of these years. They have compared his stats to Juan Soto a couple times now, and he has better stats through as many games as Juan Soto did when he was wearing a Nationals uniform. And I love that kind of thing. Don't know if he's going to be as good, but I think James Wood is the real deal. C.J. Abrams over at shortstop. I know you're a C.J. Abrams fan, rightfully so. He's pitching really well. Mackenzie Gore, and then they just brought up oh my God, what's his name? Hassel is his last name. But he's now playing. Well, he was like, there's a fifth piece sitting in the minors still, a pitcher. But all these guys coming up, they're playing electric baseball over there. They just, on Saturday, Brandon Pfaadt, who's looked good this year, he didn't even record it out against the Nationals.
Damn, I didn't see that.
They put up 9 runs. It took him out. He didn't even record it out. It was pretty unbelievable to see. But anyway, Cubs are a different team than our Snakes. Well, your Snakes, not really my Snakes, but your Snakes.
Snakes alive, baby.
Not really, but the Cubs are 8-2 in their last 10. I'm gonna roll with Cade Horton tonight, but then I'm gonna roll with Mackenzie Gore on Wednesday. You know what? Give me Jake Irvin on Thursday. Nationals win this series.
Wow. I'm like the same but different. I'm gonna roll with Cade Horton tonight. I'm going to roll with Matthew Boyd on Wednesday over Mackenzie Gore. I think, but that's a couple of lefties on the bump on Wednesday. I'm going to roll with Matthew Boyd to get it done so the Cubs will win the series. But I think Irvin's been good enough to, keep you in a game and avoid a sweep. So Washington will avoid a sweep. But I'm going to take Horton and Boyd. I'm not as high on Washington as some people, though they are 28-31, which for their standards is actually really fucking good. But I'm not as high on Washington as some people. And plus, of course, it's the Cubs. I like the Cubs. Don't like Washington yet. I don't like Washington yet. But Cubs got to win this series 2 out of 3. So let's get it done, Chicago.
I granted, I am not giving enough credit to the Cubs because they still are unbelievable. PCA and Kyle Tucker and Kurt Suzuki might be the most dynamic outfield in all of baseball.
Yeah.
So I am.
You called him Kurt. You called him Kurt last time, too.
Sorry. Oh, my God. Sorry, dude. Suzuki. Whatever.
Yeah.
Seiya?
Yeah. But I like that you call him Kurt. I like to keep Kurt. That's like the second time in a row you did it.
I think I keep saying it because I think he just officially retired from baseball, and I keep seeing that.
Maybe he's been retired. I think you just like Kurt Suzuki. You're just a big Kurt Suzuki fan. That's awesome. Funny because he's like a random guy.
Yeah, but, I mean, we love the randoms over here at Off Base Media.
I love the randoms too, but he's a funny random.
But anyway, they have probably the most dynamic outfield in baseball, so I'm not giving them enough credit.
Kurt Suzuki might have won a World Series with the Nationals, so that could be a sign.
Oh Jesus, I don't like that, dude. I don't like that at all. Because they're in the NL East.
Yeah, but the Nationals won you have the Nationals taking the series. And then you say Kurt Suzuki.
But then you say World Series. I don't want them to win a World Series. Yeah, I want them to win the series. I don't want them to win a World Series.
Yeah, no, I know, but they did in 2019, and Kurt Suzuki was on the team.
I know. Oh well. But anyway, we're moving on.
Kurt, dude. Your buddy Kurt.
And we're getting into the Cleveland facing off against the Yankees. In the Bronx, the Guardians coming to visit. Tanner Bibby versus a Carlos Rodon. Luis Ortiz versus a Clark Schmidt and a Slade Ciccone. Is that how you say it?
What a badass. Shit,
versus Max Fried. Sucks that he's got to go up against Max Fried. What do you got, Spin? This is your team. What are you thinking?
Yeah, Yankees sweep. Yankees sweep. They play well against AL Central opponents. I mean, they'll definitely win this fucking series. This doesn't scare me. What scares me is when they play against the fucking Dodgers. What scares me is when they go against fucking teams out west, like maybe even Houston at times, or teams in their division, and they, like the fucking Rays. Sometimes they struggle, or it's fucking teams like that are good. Now granted, Cleveland is playing fine baseball. They're 32-26, even 6-4 in their last 10. So good for you, Cleveland. But this is in the Bronx. They play well historically against Central opponents. I'm not mad at it. They're throwing arguably their 3 best pitchers. Now Bibby's probably an ace, but Rodon's there, and Rodon's been a stud. I'm gonna trust Carlos Rodon. I don't think Cleveland's offense is that deep, and I think the Yankees offense can do enough to fucking scratch something, especially at home. Because you're under the lights in the Bronx lights. It's going to be nice. It's going to be fun. But they play well against these teams. These aren't the teams I worry about. They'll definitely win 2 out of 3. I'll take the extra mile and say that they fucking sweep. So
I think the Yankees are 7-3 in their last 7. Cleveland's 6-4 in their last 10. I'm going to go with Ortiz to take it over Schmidt, but then Yankees wins the other 2.
Yeah, that's fair.
I think Luis Ortiz looked pretty good in his last outing, if I'm not mistaken. Only gave up maybe 1 earned to the Angels. Granted, the Angels are a very different team than the Yankees, but still, maybe he rides that confidence. Guardians are no slouch of a team. So for you to say that they're sweeping, you got a lot of confidence. I know the history against the AL Central, they normally clean up pretty good against the AL Central, but I don't think Cleveland's going to go down easy. Jose Ramirez is consistently the 5th best player in baseball every single year. It's like he's just consistent. So he's awesome. But yeah, give me Ortiz to take it, but then the Yankees win the other 2.
Yeah, fair. I do think the Yankees do win the series again. I'm taking the extra leap and saying fucking sweep.
Now you know who's really going to sweep. Coming off getting swept. Now they're going to sweep. We got Philly going to Toronto. Give me Philly to sweep. Wheeler, Sanchez, Abel in that order versus a Francis Berrios Bassett. Listen, it's Toronto's hot. They are hot right now. I think they just climbed to number 2. Bo Bichette's playing some unreal baseball right now. He's really seeing the ball. Got to give credit where credit is due to the Blue Jays. I think they're pretenders, though. 6-4 in their last 10, 5-game win streak. They got to lose at some point, so they definitely lose on Tuesday. Wheeler's looking to bounce back. He's a low heart rate guy, but he's pissed off. You know, he's thinking in the back of the head, I just got shelled. Guess what? Now I'm going to take it out on you, Blue Jays. Wheeler's going to go deep. Save the pen a little bit because Wheeler's going to go deep on Tuesday. Sanchez versus a Berrios. Sanchez is going to bounce back with the lefty. Save the pen even more for a Thursday outing with Mick Gable. Not that Mick Gable needs the pen because he's not going to need him. He's going to shut the Blue Jays down. Philly sweeps.
Okay. I keep forgetting. Every time I want to do this, I want to call it like the something series, like a guy who's played for both teams. So we'll call this the Roy Halladay series. Rest in peace, Roy, or the Jeff Hoffman series. I keep wanting to do that for every single one and just do obscure shit, but I always forget. Anyway, so I'm a little different though. I have the Phillies tonight with Wheeler. You have to. And then guess what? Toronto for the next 2. Toronto wins the series. I think this is just going to be a small hole in the Phillies' long-term story. Okay, when you look at the Phillies of the whole 2025, there's going to be peaks and valleys. I think maybe they come off of a rough outing against Milwaukee. Wheeler can get them back on track for like a day, but then you are in Toronto, so you are away. I think maybe Berrios could be a fine pitcher. Maybe he matches up good with. I actually like Sanchez more than Berrios, but I think for this particular matchup, he can go toe-to-toe with Sanchez, and Sanchez can go toe-to-toe with Berrios. I think they'll play each other pretty evenly, but Toronto, I'll take the home team there. And I think Mick Abel gets a little bit of a, hey, welcome to the majors. He had a good outing against Pittsburgh, and now you have a hot Toronto team. Mick will be like, okay, welcome to the majors, Mick. Here we go. Bassett can certainly duel. But I think, again, this is just going to be a very small hole in what the Phillies' long-term picture is going to look like. I think they're going to ultimately, very good chance they win this fucking division, even though they're currently lost possession of first place. I think they'll be fine long-term. I think this could be an excellent opportunity to maybe this is what they need, a little kick in the ass. They get swept and they lose 2 out of 3, and they get a kick in the ass. Harper comes back better than ever, and then they really start rolling from here on out. But I do think that this is going to be, they come into June kind of cold I shouldn't say cold, but that Milwaukee series wasn't nice to them. So they come into June that way. I think they're going to start early June that way, and then they'll find it again. But there'll be peaks and valleys for everybody over the season. This is one of their valleys right now.
I'm really wondering what Harper does. I'm wondering if he even travels with the team to Toronto. Like if they plan on him.
He is that guy though. Like you would think he wants to be there. He's kind of
so
there for the boys type of dude.
It's gonna be kind of interesting to see like if they have him hang back or they have him go. If they have him go, I believe he'll play. But I'm gonna start to get worried if he doesn't even travel. You know what I mean?
If he doesn't, that'd be worrisome. On ESPN Fantasy, he says estimated return 6-3, which would be tomorrow, which would be the first game of the series. But you got to take that with a grain of salt because they're not totally accurate on their estimated.
Yeah. So one thing before we move on, I did want to touch on with the Phillies is, which I got a little bit into earlier, is how much Bryce Harper's identity of him just being in the lineup helps his team. Mm-hmm. He went down and they just look lost when they're up at the plate right now. It's kind of crazy how much one player can help out and give you guys that confidence with like, hey, when we got a guy like Harp in the lineup, we feel like we can beat anybody. He's down a little bit. They just got swept by the Brewers. They look a little lackluster. Trey Turner's defense, once again, turns in. It's horrible. Obviously, he's hitting the ball well. Everybody knows that, but his defense is just not great. He had 2 errors yesterday. Very, very apparent and bad errors, too. Cost us the game at multiple occasions. And guess what? The Phillies still can't hit with runners in scoring position, which is kind of like, oh my God, who was on the bump for the Brewers yesterday? The lefty.
It's a good question.
He was on the IL for a little bit.
Quintana.
He didn't look good. He was walking a lot of people, and the Phillies just could not capitalize. I mean, story of the Phillies' career is not being able to hit with runners in scoring position, and that's what worries me a little bit. Rob Thompson, stop playing Weston Wilson. Stop playing him. Just please, for the love of God, DFA him and bring up Justin Crawford. Please. But it blows my freaking mind that we're still playing around with this Weston Wilson guy. Dude, he has a ball. I mean, granted, those line drives are hard to gauge and everything. Ball hit right at him. First step in, Weston. What's the first thing they teach you? First step back, always, Weston. Oh, man. It just drives me up a freaking wall, Rob Thompson. Please stop. But anyway, we'll move on. I could talk for hours about Weston Wilson being horrible. But anyway, we get to Arizona, Atlanta. Bad news for Arizona before we even get into it. Corbin Burns got taken out the other day and was seen mouthing, "My elbow's dead." So we're waiting for an update on him. That kind of sucks and is worrisome for the D-backs. But Zach Gallen versus Strider on Tuesday. Merrill Kelly versus Chris Sale on Wednesday. Brandon Pfaadt versus Grant Holmes on Thursday. I think both of these guys lost. So if Atlanta definitely just lost a series against the Red Sox, but I think the Diamondbacks might have even lost a series to the White Sox. I mean, not the White Sox, the Nationals.
I do think the Diamondbacks might have lost that series.
So it's 2 teams who have been underperforming kind of what we both thought were going to be pretty good teams in this and at the beginning of the year. But Strider hasn't looked anything great. Neither is Gallen, though. Like before, this would have been an awesome year. Like Tuesday, you see this matchup in the beginning of the year, and you're like, wow. Great pitching matchup, but it has been anything but that. Then Merrill Kelly versus Sale. That's a real pitching matchup because Kelly's looked pretty good for them this year, and Sale's kind of coming back into it. And then Pfaadt versus Holmes. Give me Strider, Sale, then Pfaadt. I think Atlanta wins this series, and then Brandon bounces back after that horrible outing he had on Saturday.
Yeah, these are you said it. These are 2 teams that are not playing up to par, and it'll be led off by what could be more fitting than Gallen versus Strider, 2 pitchers that are trying to fucking get back on track too, as well as their teams. This is in Atlanta, so I guess that's good. Well, did I fucking write? I wrote at for some, and then I wrote versus. So I guess it's in Atlanta. Anyway, we have fucking Gallen. Yeah, this is tough. It's almost like flip a coin. I kind of want to see Strider be able to build off of that last outing he had in Philly. I know he hit Harper. That was the big takeaway, but it actually was one of his better performances in a while because he only gave up 1 run and he pitched into the 5th. Now, can he build off of that and then go through 5 and maybe even 6 at home? I don't know. You took Strider, so fuck it. I'll also take Strider that day and the Braves. Because Gallen is really on my last fucking nerve. He has to fucking figure the fuck out. He's been so bad. So bad, Zach.
This is like good.
Then, you know what I'll do? I'll take we just talked highly over Chris Sale, but fuck it. We'll go Merrill Kelly then and then Pfaadt. So AZ wins the series. Snakes alive. Snakes alive. Always snakes alive for me.
All right. And then we get into Texas versus Tampa Bay. After this whole like Chandler Simpson thing, I'm on
By the way, Arizona Atlanta is the Justin Upton series. I'm trying to start that. Okay, Texas and Tampa Bay. We'll go to the Nelson Cruz series now.
Cruz series. All right. This one, I'm on a real fuck Tampa Bay trend right now after they DFA'd my boy Simpson. I liked him a lot. But we got Tyler Mahle versus a Russ Munson. Not sure versus a Baz. Not sure versus a Pepio. Texas, I want to be so much better, but it sucks that they aren't. And Tampa Bay's been hot as of late. They've been kind of It's been like a two-man race kind of for that second place position the past 2 weeks with Tampa Bay and Toronto, it seems like, with Boston falling a ton. Give me Tyler on Tuesday. Tyler on a Tuesday, winner. But then give me Baz on the Wednesday. And then, you know what? I got Tampa Bay winning this series. Give me Ryan Pepiot on Thursday.
Okay, so I was able to find Thursday's matchup is going to be lighter. It's still TBD for Wednesday, though.
Yeah.
So who did you have? You have Tampa Bay winning this series?
Yeah, so the Texas takes the first one, and then Tampa Bay wins the next two.
Okay, I'll roll with Molly as well. So we'll take Texas there. Then I'll take Tampa Bay with Baz. I like Baz. And then I'll take Leiter and the boys. So it's similar to you with the first two, except instead of Tampa Bay winning the rubber match, I have Texas winning the rubber match.
All right. Yeah, but we both have Tampa Bay winning that series?
No, I have Texas.
Oh, you have Texas. Oh, you have Texas with it. Okay. All right. Then KC facing off against the Seattle. We got Michael Lorenzen versus Andrew Palante. Noah Cameron versus a Miles Michaelis. And then TBD versus a Liberatore. Both two interesting teams with how good Kansas City's pitching is. And St. Louis has come out and shocked a good amount of people this year. Sitting at, 33-26, and they're 4 games back on the Cubs. They're top of the wild card right now. Maybe not top, but one of the 2 teams in the wild card right now. Give me Palante tomorrow, Noah Cameron on Wednesday, and then Liberatore on Thursday. I think Caglione also homers in this series. I think he's going to come onto the scene and really give these guys kind of a kick in the ass. I just actually think St. Louis is a pretty damn good team. So that's why I have them winning this series.
Yeah, it's tough to bet against St. Louis right now. I'm trying to figure out what the fuck I could call this series. Totally.
Did David Freese play for both teams?
I don't know if I don't think he was a Royal. Damn, that sucks. Okay. I'm going to take – this isn't St. Louis, too, and they have been the better team. Sometimes I go with my heart here, and I really want to see Kansas City do the damn thing. Maybe St. Louis takes the first one at home. I will agree with you with Noah Cameron and the boys. Fuck Michaelis. His 15 minutes are up. And then, you know what? Let's take Kansas City rubber match. They got to start with those bats there. Kansas City.
All right, so I don't think we've agreed on a single one of these last couple.
Yeah, we've been pretty fucking opposite, which is good.
Yeah, it's about time.
Last thing we agreed on was Houston sweeps, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them. 7 of them ago.
All right. Well, anyway,
I can't think of a guy here. I almost want to stop that.
I just looked it up. I don't know any 4 of these. Oh, actually,
there's more than that. I'm just talking like all time.
Hold on.
There's got to be someone good here. Why can't I think?
Hold on. The Carlos Beltran series.
Oh, sure. Sure, yeah, you got the Carlos Beltran series. Sure.
I think he's the only one.
Well, not the only one ever.
Well, no, but like notable. Like notable guy.
You could be the most notable, sure. Let's look at our own little immaculate grid we got going on here. The next one's even harder.
Seattle and Orioles.
Baltimore and Seattle for the last.
Yeah, I don't know a single. That one's gonna be all you. But this one I think's easy. Sugano versus Kirby, Povich versus Hancock, and Eflin versus Wu. I have zero faith in Baltimore. I don't care that Sugano and Eflin are their best 2 pitchers and they're both pitching. Kirby's looking to come back and absolutely hammer it out. Hancock hasn't looked great this year, but Wu's been their ace. Seattle sweeps. They know Astros are on their tail. They need to sweep.
That's true.
And also, one thing we don't give enough love to the Seattle Mariners at all because we do think that they're going to be dropping. But with how many their pitchers being hurt this year, and how they've just still rallied. Like Cal Raleigh has. I mean, people are making the argument right now that he's having the best career as a catcher ever. Like one of the best seasons ever. Like a lot of people are.
Cal Riley, yes.
Cal Riley, but I mean, we'll see when it's all said and done. It's still extremely early. Like they still have 100 games to play. But anyway, I'd still have the Mariners sweeping all in all.
This one's even hard to think about a guy who's played for both. I love Seattle to sweep. This would be the great show. Well, what I think more like, how can you not be more romantic about baseball? We haven't agreed in forever. Now maybe we agree on the last one. That'd be cute. I think. Well, how can you almost not do it? You talked about Houston being on their tail. Seattle seeing that. Houston's stiff in first place, and of course Seattle wants to have their possession, and they have the series to do it. They're at home, and Baltimore's in town for the what series? I can't think of one. Anyway, oh well, this is also the Nelson. No, he didn't play there. Yeah, he did. This is also the Nelson Cruz series, isn't it?
How many teams did Nelson Cruz play for?
A shit ton. He's always an immaculate grid answer. He was like a Baltimore Oriole for a year. Yeah, this is another Baltimore Orioles series. I mean, the end of the Nelson Cruz series. Fuck it. Kirby, great opportunity for you to bounce back after some rough starts off the IL. Let's go, George Kirby at home under the lights. Sugano, fuck him. Emerson Hancock, fucking mystery novel. You deserve to be on the bump, baby. Telling the slab against Baltimore. Fuck that. And then we respect Eflin. I don't even hate Sugano, but guess what? Those fucking dickheads in the TikTok comments talking about Baltimore this. By the way, hey, your pitching staff stinks. A lot of depth pieces that could be beneficial. We both agree that they hold value. We both agree that the guys who are hurt have the most value. I don't know what we're disagreeing on. Your staff stinks. The Phillies aren't going to give up Andrew Painter for any of your whack ass starters, your janky ass starters. The Phillies don't even want any of your janky. They don't need any of your janky ass starters. And that'll be exposed tonight when they're in Seattle. That's already been exposed, but also they're 6-4 in their last 10. And they've won 3 in a row. So good for you coming off a weekend sweep Baltimore, but you still stink. And Seattle's going to show you why you stink. Sweep. Sweep them out of Seattle. Fuck off, these Baltimore fans. They suck. They don't know what winning is like.
Well, they got a taste of it, and now they're like they think they know everything because they got a taste of being good for a year?
Maybe 2 because they fucking lost in the first round of the playoffs 2 years in a row.
I know. So it's
like, at least we got there.
There's people who got World Series aspirations. They're not. It's not just let's make the playoffs. We need the playoffs.
Their World Series was winning the division.
I'd like you've been there before, Baltimore.
Yeah, they haven't.
How about you?
And not to mention, don't you want to do something different than you think or what's going to happen or what your front office has been doing? Because Baltimore, if you're talking about starting pitching in Baltimore, since we've been born, they haven't had any notables. Maybe with the exception of Mike Mussina, who's on the Hall of Fame. They haven't really had any other notable starters that I can think of off the top of my head. And if they have, there hasn't been any notable pitching staffs that have been so godly, these godly staffs. At least the Phillies, they have a good staff now. They had a good staff when we were kids. There's teams that just that do it. Baltimore never can I recollect them ever having a good staff, let alone a good starting pitching, with the exception of Mike Mussina. So when Baltimore wants to do something, with their starting rotation, maybe you should clean the fuck house. Maybe you should do something that you've never done before, so you could achieve something you've never done. But I think that was a joke one, though.
I really hope that was a joke one, because if that guy actually believes that, he needs to be checked. He needs to be checked.
I think that one, Bradish is significantly better than. Hey, listen, I don't hate Bradish. He was good 2 years ago, but he's had a lot of injuries. Now he's 2 years older, and he's had multiple.
He's like the Cy Young this year.
Yeah, he's a stud. But the thing with Bradish is, this is why you want to sell Bradish now. I doubt maybe they will. I don't know. But you want to sell Bradish now because he's shown success in the past, and he hasn't. You don't know what he is like 2 years after his 2 fucking injuries. 2 years ago, he was good. That was also pre-multiple injuries. So I don't know. I think he has the most value now. Similar to why I don't think Outman and Esteury Ruiz have value when trying to bring in Skeens. If they're depth pieces, then fine. But maybe that's what he thought I meant by depth pieces, additions to a trade. I meant depth pieces in a rotation. I don't know. But either way, I think the Outmans and Esteury Ruiz is the same reason why I think that they don't have as much value as maybe they could, is because that we've seen them in the major leagues and they're not currently in the major leagues. So that speaks for itself. Where a guy like Bradish, for example, we've seen him have success in the major leagues. If the Orioles hold on to him and he's just now 2 years older and 2 injuries later, what does he look like? You might get
Yeah.
the most value for him right now. So anyway, Baltimore stinks. I'm happy we ended on that one. That's gonna be a good sweep. I can't wait. Now I hate Baltimore more than ever now. I actually have
Yeah,
a personal vendetta against them. I like that.
Hey, well, don't worry. You're not gonna have to worry about them at all this year. So
I know. So don't have to worry about that. And you know what sucks? I think when the Yankees played them, the Orioles won the fucking series.
they did, yeah.
It's okay. It's okay. Guess what? One team's in first and wins the worst. So
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it was fun.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up on that fucking note. Talking about some shit ass Baltimore. Baltimore stinks. I hope we're getting ready for football season. For all of us here at All Face Media, Sean and Spit in the morning, we'll see you for our program. We'll see you Wednesday. A lot of news to talk about Wednesday. It'll be fun. Stay tuned. Follow us on fucking TikTok. We can go up on the comments and roast you in the comments. That'll be fun. Peace, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.